Okay, we are back with another Red Circle Collective community member to talk about what he's up to. Also, keep in mind that this interview series is really for all of you to connect with each other, to know who's in the collective, and also remember that I feel like if we're in a community, we should know who's here. We're looking at the ability to refer people to figure out if we need somebody. I mean, why wouldn't we use the people that we're in a collective with, for one? And remember, if you're book launching, you got a TEDx talk, you have a podcast, whatever it is, you want all of us to know about it so that we keep you in the top level of our minds while we're out in the world and we see things that like, oh, yeah. So today I have Jay Mathias with us. And Mathias, tell us who you are and what it is you're up to as far as what you do in the world.
Sure. Thank you, Tanya. Definitely appreciate it. So my name, Jay Mathias Bennett. Go by Mathias. My background is since the late 90s in technology, in doing web development. Um, and I worked for 4 years at Yale University, helping language teachers use technology to teach language. And then in 2012, I asked myself, what do I truly need to be a happy human? Then I moved to an island, slept in a tent for a year on a friend's land, which was doing work trade, and then received these principles of leading from courageous vulnerability. And I've shared those in various ways, most notably in Morocco. I was based there for 3 years, and I helped start an organization, a couple of organizations that to date have served 57,000 young entrepreneurs. And that's in the context of supporting young entrepreneurs to work with major corporations. So I spoke from stage in 35 events, and a lot of those were hackathons in mostly in Morocco, but in three other West African countries. And in a nutshell, to actually answer your question, I'm adding a little bit of history to it. Before is supporting business owners to be less overwhelmed, and who seems to attract themselves to me are visionaries. Oftentimes, they just don't have one project, but they've got multiple projects that are working together in like their own ecosystem of projects or initiatives. And also, often those are around regenerative projects, not just to do less bad, but to really support the earth, support people, to build the world that we want to live in.
Absolutely. Okay, so I know you're a strategist as well. So if I just land that in a nutshell there, but you run in the spiritual world as well. So it's not just high level strategy, but also Akashic records. You know how to bring people more cohesiveness into themselves. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. So between 2000, 2009, 2011, kind of going a little bit deeper, I learned how to read the Akashic records, which, as you may be aware, is like an energetic database of everything that's ever happened. Think of it like Google for the galaxy. Um,
I haven't heard that before. I like that.
okay. Um, and then also received these massive energetic downloads or lifetimes worth of energetic downloads. That's the best way I can describe it. So things of for example, things having to do with past lives, who I am on a soul level, on an oversoul level, why I'm here in this particular lifetime, kind of the essence of energy movement in the body, or you could say, tantra, but um, and also kind of deep understanding about how things are connected between the spiritual world and the metaphysical world that you can't see, and how those things are connected with the physical world that you can see. And I'm very much of the experience or opinion that it's best to listen when the universe whispers, so that way it doesn't have to shout.
Out. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably good for all of us to think about in the sense of how we burn out We have to literally like have some major physical problem happen or crisis happen before we want to make a change. Not the best way to do it, but evolution kind of designed us. I think we can more get a little bit smarter about that. Okay, so you do coach with people, not just companies. Do you only coach with big companies, individuals?
So yes is the answer. So broadly speaking, I offer two things: personal coaching, and then also from a business standpoint, that's more along consulting, and that could include strategy, that could include research. Um, a lot of those are with organizations that are new earth kinds of initiatives, regenerative communities, um, green energy, things like that. So in regards to the consulting, I seem to have a knack to inhale lots of information and then synthesize that quite quickly, and then to say, okay, based on all these things, this would be the next piece that you want to do. I also seem to be quite good at taking things that someone wants to bring to the market, or they're creating, that might be 5, 10, 15, 20 or more years ahead, and be able to translate that into language that people now can understand. And in the words of America's foremost business philosopher, Jim Rohn, speak so that people say, me too, rather than, so what?
Exactly. Well, definitely I could have used you years ago because my tendency towards the innovation of 7+ years ahead of time has gotten me stuck a lot of the times. And now I have to educate everybody why they want to buy what I'm selling. That's the hardest thing to market in the world. It's like, okay, we don't typically like to do that. All right. So people can come in and figure out where they're out of balance with you. Like you sound like a polymath. I know you said you didn't relate to, hadn't heard or related to the polymath thing until I called you out as one recently.
I guess you could say that.
But it's clear to me that that is the case because you range from this idea of being able to strategically look at business things as well as personal things in the spiritual world. And that to me, you have to have a lot of different interests, a lot of different knowledge on different pieces to do that.
Yeah, I think also one of the things that's really important, if I could just talk about, especially in regards to spiritual things, is this idea of integration. So we can have insight, we can have spiritual downloads, whether that's in whatever way, whether that's experiences with ayahuasca or other things, but really where the rubber meets the road is fully integrating that into every aspect of our lives. So we're really living it as opposed
Oh,
to just conceptually knowing it.
I always say knowledge is in the head and mastery is in the being.
There you go. Yep.
That kind of sum that up. In the famous words of Tanja Diamond. So integration, the ability to use the information that you have fully
Yep.
sounds useful.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. And also from a leadership standpoint, when you show up and are fully integrated or more integrated, then uh, then people listen, because even if they don't totally understand what you might be saying, they can feel it.
uh, my friend Leslie, whom you've met and whom's in the collective as well, has frequently said to me, "I don't really know that I know what you're saying, but I feel like I understand it." Is that that's what you're talking about, essentially?
Yeah, I think so. And there's certainly a lot of, but I think the statistic is, I haven't seen exactly where this comes from, but apparently only 7% of communication is verbal.
Yeah.
I believe 54% is body language, and um, 38% is something like tone of voice, if I'm not mistaken.
And
So yeah,
where the
it's
energy,
all that.
like energy thing that happens. Yeah. Where we're literally giving people information I know that my transcribers, when anybody's ever transcribed for me, are that's the worst job, by the way, on the planet is transcribing when I teach, because apparently, if you're listening to me and you're with me, you're like, oh my God, this is the most brilliant thing I've ever heard. But if you transcribe the actual words I'm saying, you're thinking, they pay her for this? What the hell is going on? It's a nightmare. Nobody wants that job. Just saying. Okay, so in terms of why we have the collective is because I'm creating a community that actually helps each other, not just like hangs out and doesn't do anything. So actually looking for opportunities to support, whether that's somebody's writing a book, which you do have a book coming up. So one of the things about launching a book is getting reviews, because we know there's a magic number of 25 reviews on Amazon all of a sudden helps. So this is where the collective can help by banding together when somebody's launching a book or doing, like Leslie's getting a TEDx talk. I think we have 2 community members that have TEDx talks coming up, and, you know, being part of the launch party and doing all that. So the book, tell us a little bit about the book, because that's going to be coming out. So book, you have a book that will be coming out. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. It's called Leading from Courageous Vulnerability: 8 Leadership Lessons to Consciously Co-Create Change. And what I'm writing, it could be, uh, it could be for a number of different audiences. Really, my intention is for anyone who is interested in regeneration, for this book to help provide the spiritual fundamentals. The 8 leadership lessons include anything like courage, creativity, vulnerability, embracing paradox, willingness, to risk. And so these are the, let's just call it, spiritual foundations that anyone, I think, are really required to come to an internal space and make those internal shifts. When we think about how we could effectively engage in creating a world that works for us and for people in the world, as opposed to just having this idea of sustainability and regeneration be some kind of like thing that you're just putting on the top of the same old, same old.
Okay, yeah,
And
clearly that would take a lot more, but one day we should get into the difference between sustainability and regeneration and what all that means. But
oh yeah, and it's real simple. Sustainability, doing less bad. Regeneration is really helping the earth, helping people to really restore and rejuvenate, and really go towards full health and full thriving.
awesome. Well, there you go.
Uh,
That's simple.
yeah. And also I've got some chapter samples. I'm very close to getting it to my editor the second time. So this is it's just in the last areas of polishing, and at this point should be coming out this fall. But also anyone in the community, happy to share some chapter samples, and yeah.
I love that. Okay, so then when your book comes out, we're all going to be ready to like go out and review and get some of those reviews up there to help, because that's what we all need when we're launching our books. Okay, what kind of support can the collective give you other than, when your book launches? That is there things you're looking for right now? You're looking for more coaching clients? What can we do?
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. I would say, yeah, I'm currently open for more either coaching or consulting clients in the ways that I've described, whether, if you're a business owner experiencing overwhelm, or are going through like an existential crisis, on a spiritual standpoint, or, whether you've got, you're a visionary and you've got many different kind of projects that you want to bring forth in the world, and you want some strategic support about how to navigate all those different options. Those are, areas or ways that I may be able to be of support. And yeah, also if you are aware of any podcasters or any interviews, I'm open to doing interviews and sharing. And we didn't really get into it, but also there's a lot that I have to say around let's just say the area of art, and I'm going to put this in quotes, artificial intelligence, or some of the challenges around that, and what I see is next, from either a philosophical and a technical standpoint, where things are going. This is based on work that I've advised with with uh, a group that I've been advising for 2 or 3 years called the Evergreen Initiative, or the Genesis Project, having to do with intelligence amplification. So it's quite interesting. It's quite deep, and it has to get into moving from this idea of, generally speaking, of like a Western materialistic kind of slice and dice model of the universe, to more of a holistic approach, in a way that can support cognitive integrity, in a way that can support data privacy and protection, and really support humans towards their greatest flourishing.
Yeah, I know that is what you're all about, is that service to us all being awesome sauce. My words, not yours. Because I like those technical words. All right. And then as far as support in the community, I know that that's basically your number one language, is how can I support people? So I'm imagining that people could drop in and say, hey, I could use some support with this or that, and you would be happy to be there.
Yeah, I mean, just reach out and let me know what you're thinking, and if and as yeah. I mean, also another thing I think maybe just to mention is I seem to be quite good at connecting people and projects, and so being able to connect the dots with a lot of these innovations and innovative projects and initiatives. That's something that I can do well, and I love to do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's kind of that wrap. And as I like to make sure the community keeps being aware, if you drop into this community and you don't have a photo and a bio up, that you will hear from my VA, who will then eventually, after 4 reminders, kick your ass out. So you should probably be aware of that, that there are no like loafers, lurkers, whatever, that I really do. I'd rather have a small group of people that were actually helping each other than a bunch of people just hanging out. So do know that, everybody. And thank you so much, Matthias. And we're going to look forward to anything you want to drop in the community. And of course, let us know when your book is going to hit the shelves so we can do something about that.
Awesome. Will do. Thank you, Tanya. Appreciate it.